All right, good evening, everybody. Sorry for the lateness here. My computer decided it wanted to all of a sudden freeze up right about 5 minutes before 10. So I had to completely reboot it and pull everything back up. And so now here I am about 7 minutes late. But that's just the way it goes. But go figure. Yeah, it's working fine up until right when I wanted to come on. So yeah, and then anyway, I've been gone for the last week just because been really busy doing kid stuff. So and there really wasn't much going on last week anyway. So I kind of took that opportunity to revamp or recuperate a little bit and take in the last bit of sports that's been going on for my kids, at least for the winter before a little break in between basketball and spring sports. So but I'm back, and I'm planning on being back now for quite a while, and hopefully we can keep this going now every 2 days a week, and hopefully even more as we get further into this. So that's kind of the plan now that the school stuff is slowing down. So let's take a look at what we have now on the radar. This is the Minot radar, as you can see. Plenty of snow right now being showing up on the Minot radar. Mulhall, Bowbells, Crosby, Stanley down to McCluskey, Carrington, all possibly showing some snow in that area. They're showing some pink beyond that, so there is the possibility of freezing rain within this area throughout the nighttime hours. Um, Currently, it looks like most areas, from what we're seeing, is um, of snow, but there are some areas in between here that we don't have a lot of good ground truth to. So we might there very well could be that transition from the snow to the rain. So some areas within there could be getting some freezing rain. So um, basically, if you're anywhere in that Tioga Wild Rose, Garrison Underwood, Wing Tuttle, um, possibly down to Bismarck, that Bismarck area, and then eventually it will kind of slide over. Expected to move over to that Medina, Jamestown, Edgeley, Fullerton, Wishick area, perhaps later in the night. But most of those areas are actually expected to be pretty light in nature, but still any kind of freezing precip won't be good at all. Current conditions. Um, Showing up looks like Bismarck or no Mandan rather is showing some rain, but they are below freezing. So there you go. Mandan probably showing some freezing rain right now. Bismarck saying unknown precip, and a lot of times that is when these stations report unknown precip or UP. A lot of times that means freezing rain or sleet or something in that freezing nature. Typically, it's not snow. Minot reporting some light snow and 5 mile visibility. Stanley, some light snow and 5 mile visibility. Harvey, 2.5 miles in light snow. And then out ahead of this, we actually do have some fog. Um, Down in Carrington, we got a half mile in fog, and over in Williston area, a little bit of just 5 miles in haze right now. But we did see that in Minot out ahead of the snow, so it looks like just ahead of the snow, um, possibly seeing some visibilities drop right before the snow starts to kick in. Then as we move further west, again, snow up into the northwest, a little bit of unknown precip there in Williston. So again, that could be in that freezing rain to sleet category. And then nobody else really reporting anything that, at least on the stations here. We take a look at the METARs or the endons, if I've shown those before, and and basically see where the little bit of the freezing line sets up. So we're just kind of right in through here is where we're sitting. So anybody just north and east of that by about 50 miles or so, 75 miles, kind of that's your transition zone right now. So those are the problem areas expected overnight within that 25 to 30 at the surface. So you guys right in through there, those that's where we're going to be looking for the possibility of some slippery roads. As we take a look at the current conditions, really nothing showing up as far as too bad of conditions anyway, but scattered snow starting to show up on the northwestern part of the state through Minot. This picture is kind of around that Garrison area. Looks like some snow um, falling in there pretty decently. Looks like these roads are starting to become covered a little bit. This picture is just north of Minot. A little bit lighter there now. Um, Earlier I was checking, and boy, there were some of these cameras were really looking um, like the snow was really coming down. And actually, there you can see the snow. This is US 52 mile marker 68, the way it looks. And boy, that looking snow covered. The good thing is not a lot of wind, so the snow will fall. The rain, there might be some sleet and freezing rain in some spots, but the good thing is visibility shouldn't be horrible, just because we're not really expecting much for um, wind wise. All right, let's take a look at the forecast here and what we're expecting. There's that snow showing up on this model, um, just kind of north and east of the Missouri River Valley. And then where you did see those pink, or I don't know, kind of horrible light colors, we'll call them pink. Um, that's basically where we're still, where we're looking for those potential of freezing precip anyway, right in through that range. So that model is basically verifying that pretty well at this moment. As we go through the night, this is about 6 a.m. now and into the early parts of tomorrow morning. Most of that snow and freezing rain, at least on the model, looks like it wants to uh, dissipate it and make most of it go away. One thing we're going to note a little bit here is just the low level moisture that's still present in some areas down and through that Emmons County, Logan, Burley County, through that Mandan, and maybe just kind of along and just to the south of Missouri River Valley. Um, what this blue is showing is just some low level relative, some high relative humidity. So a little bit higher moisture content. And it's basically compact down in the lower surfaces. And when that happens, there is the potential of some freezing drizzle. Now, or some drizzle, freezing drizzle, just depending on the temperatures. If we look at the temperatures here we're looking all the way out to Wednesday morning, and this is the freezing line right here. And that really doesn't change much over the next 36 hours. So where that line is, um, I kind of drew it out earlier. As you can see, 36 hours out doesn't really change a whole lot throughout that time frame. So if you can envision that line kind of sitting in through here, if there is any kind of freezing drizzle or any kind of drizzle, basically right in through there, that's where it would probably occur. And anybody south of that line would be drizzle rain. But there again, it's going to be very light, very scattered. But just so you're aware, even in the morning hours tomorrow morning, even though the model really not showing anything, there is the possibility of some freezing drizzle in through these locations through the morning. Oops, that far ahead. We go through here. Next little system starts to move into the northwest on Tuesday afternoon. Again, kind of along the same line as what's been going on tonight. Kind of to the north and east of that freezing line, and then north and east of the Missouri River, and south and west is kind of the rain and freezing rain. This is as we back up, this is 3 p.m. Central Time. 6 p.m. snow starts to move into more of the central parts of the state, and freezing down through that Garrison area and Washburn, Medina area as well. Go figure, Medina transition as it always is. And then as we get into 9 p.m., it starts to move into the eastern parts of the state and in through the Devil's Lake area. Um, Still showing some freezing precip, though. I would still expect there's probably going to be some sort of transition still occurring. I mean, I think there's still going to be enough low-level moisture that even though it's really not showing up anything in here, go back to and look at the lower level moisture one more time within that time frame overnight, Tuesday night, Wednesday. Here you can still see plenty of blue showing up. So here we are at Wednesday morning at 3 a.m. and it's just kind of south of this snow line. So even though no precip really showing up, a lot of times these models don't show the freezing drizzle at all. So again, just be mindful overnight, um, Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. These areas have the potential for being some freezing drizzle, maybe even just some freezing rain. It's going to be, I would say, very hit or miss, and not going to be very widespread. But again, just something to be aware of overnight to night morning. The other thing to note is with the snow that does move through this area on Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, has the potential of being, maybe some moderate snow at times. So just so, again, areas in the northeastern parts of North Dakota, northern Minnesota, uh, you could see some reduced visibilities with this snow as it quickly moves across the area. Really not going to dump a whole lot of snow just because of the timing, but there might be some brief periods where visibilities could drop to a half mile or so, just because it does have the potential of dropping fairly quickly. Um, as we continue along with the forecast, as we go in, here's Wednesday evening. So once that area kind of moves out, again, maybe that freezing drizzle down in the southeast throughout the day on Wednesday. Here we are Wednesday evening at 9 p.m. And then all of a sudden we're starting to get some snow down in the southwest, maybe some rain as well. Um, that area kind of moves to the north and east very, very slowly. Now, this is out ahead of this main storm that everybody's been talking about for the weekend. This is sort of the little pre ramp up as the moisture starts to get pulling in from the Gulf. So that's basically what's happening there. Getting some snow, we're getting some moisture being pulled in from the Gulf and up northward. And as I've shown you before, we go back to our little moisture model, pull it out to that same time frame, we'll notice there are little pockets of low-level moisture. Um, this area, from the Minot, Williston, maybe Bismarck, but more of that Edgeley, Jamestown area. Um, again, potential slight potential of freezing drizzle there once again Friday morning. And then again, anything north of there, we're looking at the potential of more than just snow, um, and very light at that. So again, this is out ahead of that main system. So um, not that. Sorry, I'm kind of getting flustered with the computer crashing, so I'm really trying to get everything back in order here. This is the snow potential overnight here on let's see, basically tonight, so not a whole lot. We're expecting an inch in some areas at the most. And then with this next system that comes through Tuesday night and through Wednesday morning, again, maybe an inch or two, just depends. And you can see the little pockets here and there that this model wants to display. So where there might be little areas, the potential of some half mile visibility. So again, 1 to 2 inches possible over the next couple of days, but nothing major at all. And then as we go along, here's that next system that kind of starts to develop down to the southwest on Thursday morning, and then very slowly drifts to the northeast. See the snow kind of gets added in some parts in the north, but not much. It does show 4 to 5 inches. I think that's going to be quite a bit. I don't think uh, I'd say right now 2 to 3. I think 4 to 5 is probably pretty extreme with that. I think the model is overdoing that, but I would expect some light accumulation down in the southwest, um, expected in Thursday morning to the early parts of Thursday afternoon. All right, here we are now. This is as of Friday morning, and as I said, that system now starting to get kind of ramped up, and it's pulling out of the Rockies here, and we're getting this fetch from the Gulf of Mexico, and plenty of moisture being brought up. Not a whole lot showing up as of this time frame. This is Friday at noon, um, but things are just starting to kind of get going here. We have a little bit of a boundary here. This thing needs to pull out a little bit more and have this boundary move further north, and allow a little bit more moisture come in from the Gulf before things really get wrapped up here and really get going. But as we get into Friday afternoon and then Friday evening, this is Friday at 6 p.m. Now we're starting to notice, all right, we're starting to get some rain and some freezing rain and some snow showing up in through central parts of Minnesota and in through Wisconsin. Uh, Additional snow will probably start to develop very lightly south of the Highway 2 area up until you get over to the Missouri River, then maybe some light snow to the west. And we'll kind of zoom in on that in a bit here, but we're just kind of showing you the national map. And things kind of get going really overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning, as this low really starts to pull out in the day on Saturday. And there you have it. There now you can see where this moisture is really starting to get pulled in from the Gulf and wrapping all the way back on the backside of this system, with some dry air being punched in off the Rockies here, and that's where you're starting to see maybe some gaps in the precip. Um, just around or just ahead of that low within this time frame. Now this is Saturday evening at 6 p.m. And as that low continues to move off to the northeast, more of that dry air kind of punches in and really kind of expands the precip out and around the low pressure system. But still, plenty of snow out in the Arrowhead region and in through Dakotas. Once we get into the Saturday night, early Sunday morning time frame, that low continues to move to the northeast and it starts to lose its punch. We do have this secondary little system that kind of pops up down to the south and basically takes over any kind of moisture and kind of um, energy along with that. And eventually that system does move out Sunday, Monday, maybe some lingering high pressure starts to settle in beyond that. And then just a few systems kind of fly through here and there, just because we are in a bit of a pattern change. So we'll see what happens exactly, but just know we're getting into a bit of an active weather pattern once again as these storms kind of continue to fly through. Here we're going to take a little closer look, a little zoomed in look. We're looking at Friday night. This is as of late Friday night, early Saturday morning, the 3 a.m. Saturday morning, really. Um, and we're starting to depict some snow. There's a couple models that are showing, there's obviously there's still some variability to this, but a couple of the models are sort of agreeing with what I'm showing you here. um, Again, this isn't this isn't what's going to happen for sure. This is just early timeline, best guess, couple of models agreeing on something. So we're just kind of going off of this, but it looks like it's more so going to ramp up Friday night, uh, and then really get going Saturday, um, and then Saturday night and then Sunday. One thing of note, if this does kind of go the way it does, boy, there's some pretty good precip falling at periods of times, late Saturday into early Sunday morning. And if that continues, meteorologists like to call that some thunder snow potential. We'll see. Again, pretty far out there. See how much this changes. We'll see how much this dry air that we've talked about really punches in, or even maybe this low tracks a little bit further south, and that maybe the heavier band of snow sets up a little bit further south than that. It just all depends. If drier air works its way in, maybe that heavier snow band gets pushed north. A lot of variabilities in with that, but this is just our early guess right now as to what's going on, and just to kind of give you a time frame that it's really we're looking more into the Saturday and through Saturday night and Sunday time frame. Winds don't look horrible, but after the snow has fallen, and a lot of times with these types of systems, we will get gusts over 30 miles per hour or more. So we're probably expecting some stiff north winds on the backside of this on Sunday, and then some colder temperatures. That, and then eventually those snow showers do move out, and it's going to be probably pretty cold as we get into um, early Wednesday morning time frame as yet another high pressure system settles in. And then there just don't really take much stock into how these low pressure systems are coming through after that. It's just more of a guidance to say that we're just looking at more of an active pattern. Snowfall wise with this system, here you can see one potential output, and they're saying over 12 inches in some areas, from Fargo to Hillsboro, up through oh, maybe that. Oh, I'm trying to think of the fertile Erskine, the Bemidji area. Um, that's kind of where this particular model, anyway, right now, predicting the heaviest snowfall. And then actually, as we get back, there's some areas in through parts of south central and southeastern parts of North Dakota that could pick up over 6 inches of snow as well. So it depends on how this stuff really tracks. Really, right now we're looking at everybody getting some snow with the lesser amounts in the far west, and then obviously the greater chances um, in central and northern parts of Minnesota. Freezing precip wise, that's the other interesting part. This model, showing uh, again, don't take a lot of stock into this, but just be aware of the potential of over a tenth of an inch of freezing in some areas if it does continue the way it looks. So, and most of that is going to be falling. Basically, just cut a line through central parts of Minnesota, and then everybody south of that. That's really where the greatest potential is lying. Um, is just on the southern half of Minnesota. Um, and we'll see how this tracks. Feel wise, what do I think? I think right now this is probably a pretty good solution. The only thing I worry about a lot of times with this is just the amount of dry air that works in. So even though it's showing this amount of freezing precip, I do worry about that dry air working its way in and really kind of shutting some of this down. Um, so hopefully we don't have to worry quite as much about the freezing precip. And so I think that has the potential of being the one good thing out of this is we're gonna maybe the freezing precip won't be quite as much, but this model's been showing. And then as we take a look out, here's our little upper level swirly map. Show you how one system kind of dumbbells right after another. Now we're getting into not this weekend, but next weekend. And we just kind of get system after system that basically comes through. We are looking at a little bit below temperatures, below normal temperatures for this time of year. That's the other bad thing we're looking at. Even with this system out ahead of this, Thursday morning, we're looking at lows possibly in the minus teens in the northern part of the valley. And then again on Friday morning, again, single digits below zero. So we're looking at wind chills probably 20 below in some areas. One more time for Thursday morning in particular, and maybe some below teens wind chill wise for Friday morning. Um, Temperatures as we head out on into the extended forecast, we're but not really expecting any big warm ups. I mean, not that it's going to be really below average, but we are unfortunately looking at probably just a little bit below average time of year as we start out at least through February. Boy, this taking its time. And here we are Friday. Kind of see the day night fluctuations. And Sunday, thinking, come on, there you go. And then as we get into the early part of next week, it kind of really cools down on the backside of that system, as we said, as that high pressure moves in, and then takes a little bit for it to rebound. We got some cold nights coming in the beginning of the week, and moderates a little bit, and then boy, this one really shows another big shot of cold air. We got to take some of that with a grain of salt, especially that far out. Um, Typically, this time of year, it takes a little bit for the models to sort of catch up with what's going on as far as temperatures go. Um, so I think that'll modify a little bit, but again, it's more what you could take out of the generality what the model is showing. So basically, what it's showing is just below average temperature. So hey, winter is not over yet. Um, even though I mean we're March, spring doesn't start here for a few more weeks, and we are in North Dakota. So what are you gonna do? What can you do? But anyway, that is basically the forecast now over the this next week. Please like, please share, do all that fun stuff down below. Go ahead and visit my Twitter page and my Facebook. That's where you're going to find any updates. And so when up live, and boy, I sure do appreciate everybody for joining and for subscribing. And please, please, please share this and let people know about it. Thank you and have a good night and stay safe if you're out there driving, especially in the central parts of the state with that freezing. So we still need to be careful out there through that Minot down to the southwest. So roads are probably going to become slippery overnight tonight, and then uh, just areas again to watch as we get into the day tomorrow as well. So